Oh, extremely sorry, Solo. I was explaining and it was on mute. I think I am audible now. Okay. I didn't know how it goes on mute. Anyway, I think it's okay now. Thank you so much for highlighting it. I like your gesture. It will help others also. Thank you so much, Solo Leveling. So the distance covered upstream should be equal to the distance covered downstream, right? So the upstream distance should be equal to downstream distance because the distance between port A and port B is always the same, whether you are going upstream or downstream, right? When you are going downstream, the velocity of the river and velocity of the steamer, right? Both of these are added. And when you go upstream, the velocity of the river will be restricting the flow of the steamer, right? So that's why the distance upstream is equal to distance downstream. And by the formula speed equal to distance by time, we can write this distance upstream or downstream should be equal to velocity into time, V into T. So V into T upstream should be equal to V into T downstream, right? So V into T upstream and V into T downstream should be equal. That's why we can say that V into T upstream is basically how much? Velocity upstream. What was the velocity upstream? That was Vs minus Vr. So just write the formula over here, Vs minus Vr, right, multiplied with time. What was the upstream time? It was 10 hour, right? Now 10 hour you can multiply it, right? Now into the RHS, the downstream velocity into downstream time. So what is the downstream velocity? I hope my voice is coming now. Earlier it was on mute. What is the downstream velocity? Downstream velocity or speed is Vs plus Vr. You can see. So this is equal to Vs plus Vr, right? Multiplied with multiplied with multiplied with the time. What is the time downstream? That was 9 hour, right? So multiply it with 9, right? Now you can simply solve it because you know the velocity of Vr, that is stream speed is given to you as 1 kilometer per hour, that is the reverse flow, right? So putting up the value Vs minus 1, because Vr is equal to 1, Vs minus 1 into 10 equal to Vs plus 1 into 9, right? So this will give you 10 Vs and 9 Vs coming from RHS, so minus 9 Vs is equal to 9 into the RHS, and this minus 10 going into the RHS as plus 10. So this will give you the value of Vs, right? So the value of Vs is calculated as equal to 19, because 10 Vs minus 9 Vs will be equal to Vs. So Vs, the value of Vs, the steamer speed is calculated as 19. So 19 kilometer per hour is the speed of our steamer Vs. So Vs is basically how much? It is calculated as 19 kilometer per hour, right? So this is calculated. This is calculated, that is steamer speed is 19 kilometer per hour, right? Here you can see this one, right? What was the last part of the question? The last part of the question was that the distance between the ports. So the distance between the ports also need to be calculated. So you can take either upstream speed or downstream speed and multiply it with the given downstream time or upstream time, right? So let me show you. So the distance between the ports between A and B, these are the two ports to you, right? Here. So distance is equal to, you know the formula, that is equal to velocity into time. What was the velocity? If you are taking the upstream speed, it is Vs minus Vr, and Vs is already calculated as 19. So 19 minus 1. So that is the upstream speed. So this will be 18 into upstream time. What is the upstream time? 10. So 18 into 10. So this will give you the value of 180. So 180 kilometer is the distance between the ports. So here we have calculated it when the V we have used as upstream. The V and T is used as upstream, but you can also see the value will be same when we'll be considering it the downstream, right? So let us calculate the distance. Cross check. To cross check, you can also calculate this distance considering the downstream velocity. So when you consider the downstream, then the distance will be equal to velocity into time, and the downstream velocity was how much? Vs plus Vr. You can see Vs plus Vr. So Vs plus Vr will be equal to, since Vs is calculated as 19, so 19 plus the reverse velocity, this Vr 1, 19 plus 1 is 20. So downstream velocity is 20 into downstream time. What is the downstream time? You can see here 9 hours, right? So multiplied with 9. So this is also giving you 180. So when you are considering the upstream time, upstream velocity, or you are considering the downstream velocity, both of these will be giving you 180 kilometer. You can see here 180 kilometer. So 180 kilometer is the distance between the ports. Distance between the ports. That means the distance between A and B. These are the two ports which we have considered, and that is coming as 180 kilometer. And this is our answer, right? So during the upstream and downstream both way we have calculated it, right? Now coming to the last question of today's session, that is question number 3, right? So let me solve it. Let me turn the page first, right? So the last question of today's session, okay, what is the question? The question was that the distance between two stations is 300 kilometer. So into this question, it's clearly mentioned from the very beginning that if these are the 2 points A and B, and the distance between them is 300 kilometer, right? So distance between A and B is 300 kilometer. Now into this question, it's mentioned that the distance between two stations is 300 kilometer, right? And the two motorcyclists start simultaneously from these stations. That means one motorcyclist is going from point A, and simultaneously another my motorcyclist, I'm drawing it from different color, is going it started from B. So both of them started at the same time. Now two motorcyclists started simultaneously from these stations and moved towards each other. So that means this body, which motorcyclist started from B, is going into the left direction, let's say, and the motorcyclist started from A is going into the right direction, right? Because they are going towards each other. So A will be approaching B and B will be approaching A, right? Now the second part of the question is that the speed of one of them is 7 km more hour than the other. So let us say the speed of the motorcyclist A is X, right? So let's say X kilometer per hour, right? Let's assume motorcyclist A. I'm writing M only, right? M for the motorcyclist. So let us assume motorcyclist A is speed as X kilometer per hour, right? So it's coming, X is given, it's we have assumed it's X kilometer per hour. Then the velocity or the speed of motorcyclist B will be how much? If this was X, this is X plus 7, isn't it? Because the motorcyclist A's speed is X, then as per the question, motorcyclist B speed will be equal to X plus 7, right? Definitely the unit will be kilometer per hour, right? Now, the speed of one of them is 7 km per hour more than the other. If the distance between them after 2 hours of their start is 34 km, so that means A is started from A, B started from B, and let's say in 2 hour of time, in 2 hour of time, so that means both of the motorcyclists travel for 2 hours. So let's say the first motorcyclist will reach at this point C in traveling 2 hours, right? And definitely during that time B was also not stopped, he was also traveling. So let's say B traveled till distance D, right? And motorcyclist B also traveled for 2 hours, right? Now both of them reaches at C and D respectively. These are the new positions of motorcyclist A, and this is the new position of motorcyclist B, that is C and D respectively. Now, if the distance between them after 2 hours of their start is 34 km, now the data is given to you into the question that after traveling 2 hours each, still this distance which is remain in between them is equal to 34 kilometer. So 34 kilometer is still left for between them, that is both the motorcyclist. Now the question is that find the speed of each of the motorcyclist and check your solution. So here into this question we need to find the speed of the motorcyclist, right? Each motorcyclist. So into this question you can see the constant part is that the distance will be same, right? The distance will be same. So we can assume, and here you can also see the speed of motorcyclist is x, A is assumed as x kilometer per hour and B will be 7 more than that, that is x plus 7. So we know that speed equal to distance by time. So can we write distance as equal to speed into time? If so, then this entire distance between AB, if this is so, then distance AB will be constant, will be same, right? And that is equal to 300 kilometer, right? 300 kilometer, because it is given to you into the question. Now, since you will be using the distance, because distance and equal to can be written as speed into time, so this AB portion can be broken into AC plus CD plus BD. So we are writing in place of AB, it can be written as AC plus CD plus BD, right? And here, as per the question, the portion of CD is given to you, and that is 34 kilometer, right? Because this is the distance when the motorcyclist A approaches C and motorcyclist B approaches D, and this is the distance between both of these motorcyclists at that point after traveling 2 hours. So, and AC means, and AC reflects you for motor cyclist. Which motorcyclist? A. And BD, this BD represents the, this represents the motorcyclist. Which motorcyclist? B. So the entire section AB is divided into 3 portions, AC plus CD plus BD. So just put up the values now. In place of AB, just put up 300, right? And this is equal to AC. AC is the distance traveled by the motorcyclist A in 2 hours of time. And we know that distance is speed into time. And what was the speed of motorcyclist A? It was x. So that's why 300 can be written as motorcyclist A distance AC as covered in 2 hours of time, that is x, into what is the time? 2 hours, you can see. So x into 2 plus the distance CD, and distance CD is 34, right? Plus the distance BD, the distance covered by motorcyclist B into 2 hours of time. So that is equal to speed into time. And what was the speed of motorcyclist B? That was x plus 7. And he also drove for 2 hours. So this will be x plus 7 into 2. Now, when you solve it, you can get the answer. 300 is equal to 2x plus 34 plus 2x plus 14, right? So this will give you 2x plus 2x is equal to 4x. 34 plus 14 will be 30 plus 10, 40, 40 plus 8, 48, right? And this is already 300, right? So from here you can simplify it further. 300 can be divided with 4 as 4, 7, 28, 24, 5, 75 times, and this 4 will be cut in one time, and this 48 will be deducted in 4, 1, 4, 4, 12 times, right? So this will be giving you the value of, this will be 75, this one, and 12 will be coming from RHS, 75 minus 12, and here into the RHS we are left with x. So x is calculated as 75 minus 2, that is 5 minus 2 is 3, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So the value of x is calculated as 63 kilometer per hour. That is the speed of motorcyclist A. So that is the speed of motorcyclist A. So that is calculated as 63 kilometer per hour, right? This is calculated as 63 kilometer per hour. So this is calculated as 63 km per hour, right? And in this way, the speed of motorcyclist A is calculated. Now, what is the speed of motorcyclist B? This was for A. A speed is calculated as 63 kilometer per hour. Now, what is the speed of B? B speed, or the speed of motorcyclist B, calculated as x plus 7. That is x 7. And what is the value of x which we have calculated? 63. So this will be 63 plus 7, which will be coming as 70 kilometer per hour. So 70 kilometer per hour is the speed of which one? Motorcyclist B. So this value of x plus 7 is calculated as 70 kilometer per hour. That is the speed of motorcyclist B. This one is calculated as 70 kilometer per hour. Now, what is the last part of the question? Check your solution. So how you will be checking your solution? Just calculate the distance, whether 300 is coming into that or not. Just put up the values into the RHS, and this will be satisfying the LHS, right? And in this way you can check that your solution is correct, because that will definitely satisfy this equation. So thank you, students. I think you find this session useful for the linear equations. And initially in the start of the session, I don't know how the mic was going mute, so extremely sorry for that. But yes, you can go through the session, and later on it was turned on, mute was removed, and I think you are able to listen it properly, and you get the main concept, whatever we have, right? You can also go through the playlist into my channel, and for any query you can just put up into the comment box, and just keep on learning. I will be there with you, and keep on your preparations. I'm happy learning to you. Take care. Bye bye.